TV show, Group Communication, CST271. I'm Leiva, and today we have some awesome topics. We're going to be talking about a couple of things that people do struggle with within groups. One is active listening. Two, the positive and negative effects of conflict. And finally, group hate. Today we have some awesome experts that come all over the world. And Richard is actually going to be discussing active listening. Then there's Elizabeth, and she's going to be talking about the positive and negative effects of conflict. And finally, we have Carly, our expert on group hate. So first, we're going to start with Richard. So tell us a little bit about active listening.
So basically, active listening occurs when you are trying to understand the speaker the way the speaker wishes to be understood. And the way that you do that is by, so when the speaker is saying something, you are paraphrasing what they're saying and repeating it back to them. And if the speaker agrees with that paraphrase, you're going to give them the opportunity to either say, yes, that's what I was saying, or no, I actually meant to say this. And it sounds pretty simple, but it's something that a lot of us actually fail to do, and that's actually can be the cause of a lot of conflict within groups and a lot of people becoming angry dealing with group projects. Is because active listening is not taking place.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being an issue. So tell me how active listening has helped you enhance your group communication skills.
So active listening is one of those topics that really just permeates all of communication. Okay. It's present in any communication situation you're in, whether you're in the workplace or with your friends or with your family. It's everywhere. So it's really relevant, and when you learn how to effectively actively listen to someone, it really helps you in all of those communication situations, and it helps you grow when you're communicating to anyone, because it's something that you're going to need when you communicate to anyone. So.
Yeah, that makes sense, definitely. Okay, so is that one of the reasons why you chose to be an expert in active listening?
Yeah, I mean, since it's such a salient topic in group communication, I like to think of it as the catalyst of group communication. Okay. There's all these other fancy terms for behaviors that happen in group communication, like rhetorical sensitivity and self-monitoring and all that stuff. But none of that is possible without active listening. It's kind of like a foundation for the rest of group communication.
That's awesome. Give it up for Richard. Okay, next we're going to go on to our expert on positive and negative effects of conflict. Here is Elizabeth.
Hi, thank you. So, positive and negative effects of conflict. Obviously, conflict is when a group is just not getting along very well, and there's arguments that are happening, and most people know that there are negative effects of conflict, and some negative effects of conflict can be like people don't feel important or they feel hurt, and so just because people are yelling at them or putting down their ideas, and that can definitely hinder a group by them not contributing their ideas anymore. And when you are doing a presentation or a group project, you need everyone's ideas basically to really fully succeed. However, there are some positive effects of conflict. I know, it's very surprising.
Oh my gosh, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah. So while sometimes during an argument, or even not during an argument, people there'll be that one group member that'll be like, oh my gosh, we're doing everything wrong. Yeah. And them being brave enough and feeling comfortable enough for them to speak out and say, listen guys, we are going to completely fail at this. Basically, that obviously is going to cause some arguments, but those arguments will eventually lead to a better group end result, which is great because they do feel comfortable enough to speak out. So that is definitely a positive effect of conflict, is that they realize their decisions and they make better decisions through that.
Thank you for that, because I really never realized that there can actually be positive effects to conflict. Okay, so tell me, how has this helped you with your own group communication skills?
Well, it definitely helped me feel more comfortable speaking out with the groups that I'm working with, because I realized that obviously some effects are not always negative. So it really makes me feel better about saying to my group, again, like I previously mentioned, hey, we're doing this all wrong, because I'm not afraid of conflict anymore, because I know that there can have many positive sides.
True. Okay. So is that one of the reasons why you chose to be an expert in positive and negative effects of conflict?
Yeah, it definitely caught my eye when I was kind of reading through my group communication book as a college student.
Yeah.
And, positive and negative effects of conflict. And I was like, wow, positive effects of conflict.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this, so I read about it, and it really, I wanted to tell more people about how to, not be afraid to speak up, because you can have those better eventual final projects with when you do speak up. However, it's also really important to keep in mind that sometimes there obviously are negative effects of conflict, and you need to keep other people's feelings in check, because obviously conflict can have negative effects as well.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Everybody give her a round of applause. All right, so our next expert, who I've been dying to hear from, is Carly, and she's going to discuss about group hate.
Okay, so group hate is essentially the negative attitude that group members go into a group setting with. And everybody has worked in a group setting. I mean, I would be honored to meet someone who hasn't. So in school, in work, you're always working with people. Because you're always working with people, you bring your negative feelings that you've had with previous group experiences into your new group. And even if it's totally new people, a totally new situation, you are bringing on kind of that baggage with you. And so that going into the group, you already hate it and you don't even know anything yet. So that's pretty much the backbone of group hate, is just your attitude going into a group and how you feel and how you feel affecting other people in the group, and then it just kind of spreading like wildfire.
I know there's been a few situations where I felt that way, and I think
course.
at some point everyone's felt that way. Tell me a little bit about how this has enhanced your communication skills.
Well, Christina, I feel that once I kind of was able to put a definition to this feeling that I had, and realizing that I wasn't a bad person for feeling that way, I realized that it was actually my attitude that predicted how a group was going to come out. And if I went in with this negative, I don't want to do this is crummy, like I wish I didn't have to be in this group right now attitude, then that's how my experience is going to be like. It's all up to me as a group member. And even more so than that, going into the group task-oriented is really kind of detrimental if you're only thinking about your task and you're not thinking about the other people in the group. Because if you're just like, I want to get it done, I have a deadline, I want a grade, I want an A kind of thing, then you're never going to get to know the people that you're with. And with that, you're not going to have any relationships, and you're not going to have any trust that is built within the group, so nobody's going to want to do anything for you. So I think the best thing that has enhanced my understanding is knowing that it's up to me as a group member, and a group member that is an expert in this, to go into groups and be kind of the person that has that positive attitude, because that can spread too.
Okay, so can you think of a specific moment or example that made you want to become an expert in group hate?
Oh, Christina, I'm so glad you asked that question. I know exactly the moment I realized that I was interested in group hate. It was back in 2013 when I took a group communications course at Northern Arizona University with the infamous Dan Foster.
Oh, I've heard of him.
I took him.
Yeah,
He's awesome.
He
Yes,
is the
he is.
wizard. He is.
Anything you want to know about communication, he knows it.
Anything. He is a master. So it was in this class that we went in, and that's when I really realized that it wasn't just me that had this mindset, and everything just turned upside down. My entire world was flipped on its axis.
Oh my god.
What time is it?
So hungry.
It's like 8. It is classes until 8.
I didn't even eat yet. Why did we take this class?
I don't know. This was all your decision,
I'm
though.
seriously rethinking my life
Me
right
too.
now. This is like ridiculous.
Wait.
Do
you still have to do
group
group
projects?
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
I mean,
I'm
honestly,
honestly
communication. I don't
Oh,
know.
I've honestly had the worst experience with
Me
group.
too.
hate
Me too.
groups.
I
hate
always
that.
end up doing all the work.
Oh,
Wait,
guys,
where is he? It's 5:05.
5 more minutes and we get to leave.
Oh, there he is.
Guys, he's not even wearing a suit.
Is he the teacher?
This is weird. No, he's definitely the teacher.
Welcome to class, everyone.
Is he wearing a superhero?
So, welcome to group communication. My name's Dan. Don't ever call me Daniel, that's what my mom calls me.
Oh.
So, I'd like to start off by saying that it's such a shame that this class is only 2.5 hours because I could honestly go for 3 days straight talking about this stuff. So, just so you know. Now, since this is a group discussion class, we will be doing plenty of group projects.
I hate them!
I hate group projects.
But isn't that bad, guys?
Oh my god, you're a weirdo.
She's not in my group.
You have a negative attitude about it now, and the reason is because you really don't know how to communicate effectively in groups.
This guy.
But by the end of this class, you might actually enjoy working in groups because you'll know how to navigate the group dynamic more, and if you just give it a try, you might actually like it. So.
He has a point, guys.
Maybe he does. Maybe he's right.
Now let's decide on a discussion topic.
And that was the moment that I realized that group hate is all about attitude. We went in there with a really negative attitude towards group communication and being in a class that late and all this kind of stuff. So once we kind of realized the proper ways to communicate and that it's all in our control, I really realized that, you know, this is really interesting and I actually like this and I'm not the only one that suffers from it, so I can travel the world and cure group hate.
Awesome. Thank you. You know,
Thank you, Christina.
you're welcome, Carly. So today, you know, we obviously learned how group communication works and the ways that it, you know, the ways that we have to approach it in order to succeed within a group. You know, unfortunately, we didn't realize that they intertwine. You know, if you don't have the active listening, then you have the negative effects of conflict that take place because you didn't actively listen. And then when Carly spoke of group hate, this is one of the reasons why people don't like working in groups. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Christina.
So, you know, this is one of the things that we obviously learned was that if you do active listen, then we do have positive effects of conflict. Even though a lot of people don't believe that there can be, there is positive effects of conflict within a group. And then finally, deteriorating group hate. You know, today, like I said, we learned about active listening, positive and negative effects of conflict, and group hate. Thank you for watching my show. We appreciate it.
Thank you!
Thank you, Daniel!